Look at VWAP touch, came on down, VWAP broke on out, came up to the VWAP, cracked back on down. Deck, what are you looking for? I'm looking for a little VWAP touch and a reversal back on down. Here's a little bit of that top area, little top touch right here. Guys, I'm going 12 contracts total. Let's start with the tippity top here, team. I'm gonna go over the most important things for every single trader. It says mixed up. The S&P 500 and NASDAQ Composite both rose Tuesday, but the Dow wasn't so lucky. The S&P 500 increased 0.17%, while the NASDAQ climbed 0.37%, but the Dow Jones slipped 0.25%. Traders are looking ahead to the release of the Federal Reserve's preferred measure of inflation on Thursday. That data, which is the Personal Consumption Expenditure Price Index, is going to give us insight on the health of the economy as well as the next steps for monetary policy. So traders, for anyone who does not know what's happening at this moment, we are seeing basically a mixed market. Who was here yesterday? Hands up. Who was here yesterday? Who saw that the market slightly rose? The Dow was slightly down. It was mixed. It was choppy. Most traders maybe traded one, maybe two trades yesterday, either won $20 or 100 or 200 bucks, lost 100, 200 bucks, and said to themselves, hey, I'm done on the day. There's no reason to trade chop. There's no reason to be involved in plays that are not going to be absolutely picture perfect for us. Because guess what? If we lost our entire account yesterday, coming into today wouldn't be very fun. But it's always so great to say, hey, wipe your hands clean, say there's no good trade today, let me move on to the next day. And that's where we are right now. So I'm very happy that yesterday is a thing in the past, the choppiness, hopefully that's done with, and we can start heading into today with more excitement, more future outlook, more just volatility in the market. So let's see what we have here. It says the futures tied to the Dow Jones Industrial Average slipped 120 points. The S&P 500 pulled back this morning 0.31%, while the NASDAQ 100 futures slid 0.4%. Wall Street is coming off a mixed session. The S&P 500 and NASDAQ Composite rose slightly, with the Dow declined. The S&P 500 and the Dow are off the highs they just notched last week, but investors may want to think twice before they aggressively ramp up equities. I just don't think you can chase at this point, said the U.S. Equity Strategic CEO of Citigroup. A lot of good news is getting priced in. We actually are trading up even higher than the reporting season really hasn't been great. We really haven't had a lot of broad beats and broad raises. So let's just take a second right here as well, team. All right, so let's just take a second right here. It says at this moment that Drew Petit, which is the U.S. equity strategy, says that we just don't think it's worth chasing at this point. There's a lot of good news getting priced in. We're not even seeing that many broad beats or broad raises. This is what I want you guys to understand. This is what I want you guys to be ready for. This is what I want you guys to take into consideration. So what we have at this moment, traders, is we have a market that was sky high. We have a market that's moving up, a market that people are saying that you got to be careful because we are definitely near some sort of high and we're waiting for some sort of pullback. So traders, let's break this on down. What else I want to show you is that we do a fear and greed index. The fear and greed index, we have extreme greed. Right now, traders, we have buying, and more buying. There's extreme greed, and this meter goes back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Having extreme greed shows that everyone's been buying and there has not been that much selling. So that extreme greed does tell us that we are getting near an overbought area, usually ticks back on down in the upcoming days. What can we do on this day? What are we focusing on this day? Well, traders, if we break this entire thing down right now, taking a look over on the S&P 500, this is how I see the SPY. The SPY, right here, top resistance 510, top resistance 508, top resistance 507, next top resistance line 506.50. The S&P 500, as I look, as I'm watching, as I'm focused over on this play right now, we do have this awesome downtrend from the last 1, 2, 3 days going into our fourth day. Let's make our lives easy. If we are underneath this downtrend, we know that there is weakness. If we are underneath this downtrend, we know that there could be a fade. If we are underneath this downtrend, we know that sellers or put contracts are currently in control. When we go above this purple line, that's when we can squeeze all the way back on up and possibly run and rip up towards new highs. We can also see we had a bounce play off 505.50, 505.50, 505.50, 505.50, 505.50, 505.50, little crack underneath 505.50, spike on up. Now again, we're back underneath 505.50. There's basically 2 points here. We have our trend line that we could be watching, and we have 505.50 support, which is now holding up as resistance. The S&P 500, underneath 505.50, I'm leaning towards puts. Above 505.50, we could run on up towards around 506.50. Underneath 506.50, look for puts. Above 506.50, watch for the next leg on up. Today, unfortunately, I do think it's going to be active at times, but I also do think there will be choppiness. I do think there will be times that are going to be extremely hot and extremely active. And other than that, I think there is going to be times that are going to be very choppy. So Deck, how can you say that? I say that because tomorrow is still our big data. Tomorrow is the PCE data. Tomorrow is the data that we are going to be seeing. Where is inflation at? What is the state of our current monetary policy? And what is Jerome Powell going to be doing coming on up in the near future? So let's read our morning newsletter here and let's talk about this. It says the past 3 days have been a downtrend with 505.50 as the main line of support. This morning, we are cracking under 505.50, which now could hold as resistance. If we open under the downtrend and 505.50, I will be leaning towards puts. If we break above 505.50 and the break of the downtrend, then be on calls. Very simple. Tomorrow at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time is the inflation data. So there is a chance that today could be choppy as traders will be indecisive on what will be coming up next. So you guys can see right here, the S&P 500 has been fading and fading and fading and fading and fading and fading. And then you can see the S&P 500 is underneath this 505.50 mark, which has been holding up as very nice support. So that's all it comes down to. Keep it simple. Keep it easy to follow. Keep it easy to stay on top of. When we have, of course, this downtrend, we're already leaning towards the bearish side. When we have the support line that now we're underneath and now holds up as resistance, guess what? We are already leaning towards a little bit more of that bearish side. So the S&P 500, tomorrow is going to be a massive day. And if you're saying, Deck, I want to make as much money as I possibly can, what is the way for you to make as much money as you possibly can? Swing trade tonight. Swing trade tonight into PCE data tomorrow. Now, I'm just letting you guys know that's the most risk that you could possibly have. High risk, but also high reward. But at the same time, team, if you are wrong, guess what? You're going to be taking a massive loss. So not many people are going to want to hold their options overnight tonight. I'm just giving you guys that answer right now. But I will tell you that a lot of people will be watching and getting ready for tomorrow morning. So not many people are going to hold overnight. Some crazy traders definitely will. Hopefully they're right. If they're wrong, they're going to be taking a big hit. 8:30 a.m. tomorrow, we do have inflation data and we can see what's going to be coming on up here next. SPY still trying to keep our eyes peeled over on this bad boy. See if this play can keep on moving. Deck, where could a little scout play be? Right next to, again, that VWAP. Look at VWAP touch, came on down. VWAP broke on out, came up to the VWAP, cracked back on down. We're going after it here. If we touch that VWAP of 505.95, Deck is going to be going in on a scalp. You guys ready to see something magical in the air today? I'm going to bring in some magic in the air. I'm going to, again, fill it up, Buttercup. I want to look for a scalp, in, out, make my money on the day, hit the VWAP, come back on down. Let's see if I can do it. Almost there. 505, 505, 505.95. Here we go. A little bit of a pop. All right, guys, I'm going in. I'm giving it a scalp-a-roni. I'm going in right now with a scalp. Going in with the scalp right here. Let's see if I can just get on in with this play, be able to make a little bit of a scalp, just hit that 506 mark, looking for a little bit of a drop back on down. Deck, what are you looking for? I'm looking for a little VWAP touch and a reversal back on down. I don't like how, again, this play is getting a little bit of that move on up, though. Got to be careful on this. Want to make sure this stays underneath that 506 mark. Stay underneath 506, start fading back on down because we don't want to be getting caught up in the poof and it's gone. Let's see if we can be able to fade and start getting that drop back underneath the VWAP. VWAP is at 505.95 area. We want to see that again. Crack that VWAP, fade, fall, be able to make, $300 or so. If it does go on up above that 510 mark, that is where we have to, 506.10, basically where we'd have to say, all right, just not working out, move on from that play, just not even worth it. Here's a little bit of that top area, little top touch right here. We do have top resistance, top resistance, top resistance. Try to get filled at the VWAP to start off with. I might still look for one last little entry right here, right next to this 515 mark. Last little entry right here. Can I buy 6 contracts? Let's see here. I'm going to add a little bit right here. Adding a little bit. Last little bit. Guys, I'm going 12 contracts total. 12 contracts total. Looking for a reversal now. Give me a red candle back on down. Deck, what's your stop loss? Stop loss is 505.25, 505.30. This is my last little bit. Guys, we've had green candle, green candle, green candle, green candle, green candle. I did just load on up 12 contracts looking for a put, just looking for a red candle. Red candle right now. Still no red candle. It's almost like South Park right here. Poof, and it's gone. Poof, and it's gone. Right now, I'm down 400, 300 bucks. Can this thing just crack back on down towards sub 506 here? SPY right now, team. We basically had tons of red candles, tons of green candles, tons of red candles, tons of green candles. Looking to be able to nail a little bit of a top and see this thing fade back on down. Down $300, down $120. Oh, baby. Guys, let's go. $60 down. $60 down, guys. Now we're up $300 at this moment. Guys, we're up $240, $120, $180. Can we crack 506 here for a second? Let's see if we can crack back on down sub 506 and go on down towards those 505.90s. Currently down $60 at this moment. Still looking for a little bit of crack. Finger on the trigger, guys. Here's a nice little drop. Up 720. Lock out half right here. Lock out the other half. $600 in profit. Poof, it's gone. Poof, poof, it's gone. Look at VWAP touch, came on down. VWAP broke on out, came up to the VWAP, cracked back on down. Right now I'm down $400, $300. See if this play can keep on moving.